So who's buying the Cardano dip? Okay, that's a question I think a lot of times in crypto we get asked a lot, right? Buy the dip. The cliche that it is still something that is relevant as we look at the top 100 and we see that the market is currently down. We're in the red. Let's talk some ADA because there is something that's going on right now that I want to share with you guys here in this video. So we'll talk about the 5-month low that Cardano has seen within some of the sentiment surrounding it right now as it currently stands, okay? So if you are new to the channel, you hold Cardano, you want to know more, we keep you up to date with what's going on in the crypto news each and every single day. If you guys hit that like button and subscribe down below, greatly appreciated. And I do thank all my returning subscribers for tuning in as we talk some ADA, okay? So to kick this one all off, we are going to look at what we're seeing here on the top 100 and Cardano, albeit down 0.7% in the last hour. We are on a little bit of a almost 4% dive as Cardano is trading around 80 cents. Now, I think a lot of people are quick on the trigger to kind of point out, and I'm not saying you guys are wrong, and I'm not saying that I'm not one of the people that is doing it as well, but it's very hard to overlook the fact that over the last 365 days, we reached a high point of $1.23, and we were able to buy Cardano for under 30 cents at one moment in time, okay? Myself included, and what we're looking at today, I mean, guys, we're at 80 cents, not the end of the world, okay? And yes, we could see a little bit of a pullback. Crypto historically, the month of September has been atrocious for traders, but let's kind of find the silver lining in this all and say that, you know, for all things considered, for all the skeptics out there saying Cardano's a ghost chain, this, that, the other, I think there's been a lot of strong moves made by Charles and his team as they've taken ADA to different places. And I think that's kind of what my takeaway has been over the summer of 2025, basically, is all of the catalysts that we do have coming in the works. And really none of them have kind of made it out of the other end, where we do talk about, for example, the Bitcoin bridge. You can talk about what we have within the Midnight Glacier airdrop, and then also the Cardano ETF that potentially has a high likelihood of getting approved one day. There's a lot of things waiting in the wings for ADA holders, and I think it's easy to kind of point fingers and place blame when we're on a red day, but when Cardano was surging back here, as we looked at it in the November months of 2024 into the early part of 2025 and beyond, where, you know, quite frankly, we were hitting highs in places that I think a lot of people, even Cardano holders alike, never thought we would get back to, okay? So just showing you how fast crypto can change on a dime. But as we look into this dip, let's talk about kind of what we're looking at right now, because there has been a lot of selling pressure on Ethereum. And now Cardano retail investors are growing pessimistic, just as large holders appear to be buying the dip. And that's always kind of my mantra, right? Follow the whales, follow the money. And as we do see it, the social sentiment around ADA has dropped to its lowest level in 5 months. Now, if you are an ADA buyer, and this is not financial advice, I'll never tell you guys to buy or sell crypto, but it is as simple as that, okay? And it is simple as, you know, you want to buy low and sell high. You also want to buy when no one else is buying, because usually you are going to be ahead of the curve if we do have a breakout. Now, this mixed signal that we have, there are a lot of people that may be selling at the top. The fear and greed that we have sitting for Cardano is neutral, where a lot of the sentiment towards fear, that's never a good mixture for that conversation. But as we do look at it as well, we've seen the Bitcoin dominance drop to 57%, which is suggesting that altcoin season still has a chance, okay? But this is what we're looking at as the whales are eyeing Cardano traders exiting, okay? The data is showing that on sentiment that the Cardano investors were amongst some of the worst hit. And I will say it's a very fragile bunch, okay, for the ADA community. Yes, there are a lot of people that do hold steady and true, but for the most part, there's a lot of people, including myself, that bought Cardano up to the 2021 highs. And seemingly we are about, you know, 30, even 40% from those all-time highs, a little bit less than that actually. So about 25 to 30% is what we're looking at, as Cardano was up in the $2.90 range. And now we're trading at a firm 80 cents. But as we look at it, guys, this is where we talk about over the last month how volatile it has been. We were able to see 70 cents Cardano, but then did reach and try to breach $1 once again. But that had a very sharp rejection. And now, as we look at it, guys, this is where we talk about the whales buying. Now, the divergence that we're seeing from all-time highs typically usually does precede upside. And as the prices move in the opposite direction of the crowd's expectations, okay? Similar to what I'm talking about, you want to buy when no one else is buying, okay? So when you do see a lot of the smaller retail traders capitulate out of the frustration, as it alludes to, that's when the bigger money, the whales, usually step in and tend to buy that said asset, okay? And as we look at it, guys, that is the conversation going right now. I'm not going to talk about the audit because I think it's completely non-related. But for me as a trader, okay, we've picked our shots and we've kind of found our opportunities where we've had Cardano on significant dips, okay? Like I said, I bought Cardano as high as $2.90, and I bought it as low as underneath 25 cents, okay? So that all aside, you have to kind of call it what it is, okay? We are in a highly volatile environment. The crypto markets as we know it, I don't expect anything different. And as it stands today, guys, I'm not, falling off of my platform where I'm basically saying that Cardano is a great cryptocurrency. That's not happening. Okay, it's just something where yes, we are going to have road bumps along the way, and no, Cardano is not up 5-10%, nor will it ever go up 5-10% each and every single day. It just doesn't happen. You need to have good trading on both sides of the equation for good, steady, organic growth. And as it looks right now, this is kind of the issue as well. Cardano is meant to be traded. Crypto is meant to be traded, and the whales are buying as retail exits. And that's kind of how the opposite works, right? Usually it's retail that ends up being the exit liquidity on the other side of that argument. But as it stands today, this is the step before that, okay? This is when the whales get the lower prices. And then obviously when they do sell on retail and retail gets crushed, it's usually because the whales had a better entry point and opportunity, okay? But, I don't really have any feelings in terms of guilt or regret for any of the trades that I have made. We were buying Cardano at 50 cents, okay? We were buying it at 60 cents. We got as high as $1, sold some Cardano up at that level, okay? And then also, now we're trading at 80 cents. We're still into the green, and it's still very positive in terms of what we have coming from momentum and from catalysts. The morale, though, and the social sentiment is lacking, okay? And that usually does indicate and represent the emotional retail trades, if you will. And I think that's kind of where, I'm not going to be telling you guys to buy or sell crypto. I won't do that because I've been on the other side of that argument, right? I held true. I held through the storms and, got wrecked a few times. Okay. It happens. And that's kind of why we're in this game, right? We want and welcome that volatility where, yes, we can go up 100 to 1,000% in a very short window. But we also can go down in the opposite direction. And do you have the stomach to weather a 20, 30, 40% correction before that next leg up? That's the beauty of cryptocurrency. So it's not meant for everybody, but this is not just a video where we wanted to talk about the whale activity, but also I wanted to talk about some of the morale and emotions that come with crypto trading and kind of what I'm faced with every single day, because some of my positions, yeah, they're in the red. Some of them aren't, but it's just kind of the wins and the losses. And at the end of the day, you just want to stack more wins than you end up losing within these trades, okay? But so that's kind of the sum of it all to put a bow on it. Whales are buying as retail selling. There's panic in the market. There's emotions. And that's never a good thing or equation for steady, sustained organic growth from our level, okay? I'm not a whale. I have a lot of Cardano, but no, I'm not even considered a whale. So that's what I wanted to sum up for you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Leave a comment down below. Are you being kind of just a passerby, reactionary? I mean, how are you playing this market right now? Leave a comment. Let me know down below. And I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Make sure you all hit that like button before you exit. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.